Welcome back to RC Truth Media. Today is Friday the 13th. Happy Jason and Freddy Krueger Day to everybody. I hope you don't believe in this, because if you do believe in these type of things, then they are more likely to affect you. So the more you put your mind to something, the more it is going to have an effect in your life, and this isn't a fact. Just thought I'd throw that out there. On to some Grand Solar news. Before I do that, please hit that like and subscribe button. Make sure that you hit that bell also so you can be updated on all my recent videos. First thing I'd like to show you comes from sunshinehours.net. Arctic temperatures below normal for 50 days. Media doesn't notice. That's right, media has their narrative, and they're to continue feeding you these lies day after day until the whole world knows they are full of bull. But we still will have those some out there, even when they know they're lying, that are still rooting for them just because they don't like the other side of the aisle. Now, Arctic temperatures. Look at this. 50 days. That's a long time, right? Also, Arctic ice growing. This is from the last 10 years. Now, if we're looking at meters here, 3 meters, which is at the green, light green, or yellow, that's going to be about 9 to 10 feet. And the red is going to be 12 feet or 13 feet. So that's how many. Look at this. It just gets deeper and deeper. We can definitely tell that cooling is happening. Okay. Also, natural disasters on the rise. This comes from economist.com, detailing back from the 1980. We could see that all kinds of natural disasters, including storms, floods, landslides, avalanches, extreme temperatures, droughts, forest fires, are on the rise. And last year was no exception. Last year broke records all the way around. 2017, U.S. had these are all billion-dollar weather events that we're seeing right here. Okay, and we've noticed it in California. Fires, they're still going right now. We had record fires last year. If you try to drive up in the mountains anywhere, go camping, you're just going to see fires all over. You're like, what happened here? Oh, that's right. It was on fire. That's right. Yep. And all over the United States as well. I'll go ahead and leave a link below so you can check this out. Sought Earth details what's happening just this last June. There's been extreme weather, planetary upheaval, meteor fireballs. Let's read some of this. This past month of June saw many areas of the planet inundated with downpours of all shapes and sizes, from violent hailstorms and thunderstorms in parts of Asia, some of them carrying fish, shrimp, and octopuses. Yeah, it was like flying fish everywhere. They're falling down from the sky like in the Bible. In Europe, to an amazing mix of hurricane-like winds, heavy rain, and floods in the U.S., Mexico, and parts of South America. Volcanic activity continues to break records around the BBM. The Kilauea volcano continued to wreak havoc on the big island of Hawaii, destroying houses and engulfing the area with toxic fumes. Meanwhile, after years of continued activity, Guatemala's fire volcano erupted violently, causing the deaths of at least 109 people. Hundreds are still missing, and entire towns were covered with the meters of ash. Other than the spectacular nature of these eruptions, the important point to remember is that all of that ash saturates the upper layers of the atmosphere, reflecting solar rays and promoting water condensation and ice formation. And this, of course, is not good news given the current solar minimum. It's quite possible that as we move forward, global temperatures will continue to plummet, and given the massive amounts of water pouring down, next winter may well be a rough ride for many in the northern hemisphere. Speaking of cold temperatures, unseasonable snow continued to make headlines even during late spring and the beginning of summer across both northern and southern climes. The cold snaps hit the US, Canada, Chile, Australia, Ukraine, and Austria, surprising the population and damaging crops. Increasingly strong hailstorms and bigger hailstones have also been reported all over the world. The US, Greece, Italy, Serbia, India, and Russia were the most affected this month. You can check out below. I'll go ahead and leave a link to this article if you want to watch this video yourself. On to some other news that have been going on. Hurricanes fell silent as African dust clouded skies in the U.S. What can give you itchy eyes, replenish the rainforest, and bring a hurricane to its knees? Dry and dusty African air. The coffee colored atmospheric swirl, captured by satellites last week, blew across the ocean, all the way to Houston. Originating in the Sahara Desert, the air dominated weather across the Atlantic and beyond it is, quite simply, kryptonite for hurricanes. The dust is the marker of the extreme dry air coming off the Sahara Desert, said Gary Bell, a hurricane climate specialist at the U.S. Climate Prediction Center in College Park, Maryland. It is the dry air that can suppress storm development and limit the size of storms. Tropical storms and hurricanes are heat engines built from thunderstorms. They draw power from warm, moist tropical air across the ocean. Stable dry air is like adding sand to a cake recipe. Dry air causes more suppression of thunderstorms, said Chris Davis. A hurricane managed to form last week, and another may be brewing. So it's too soon to tell whether this season will end up mellow or fierce. Every few days, patches of showers and thunderstorms leave Central Africa and start west across the Atlantic. These are called tropical waves, and they can line up like freight cars in a train all the way across the basin. These waves are the buds of storms. If they flower, they spin into hurricanes and tropical storms, said. North African dust also makes its presence known in a smaller theater, the air outside your window. Every year, 100 million tons of Saharan dust spreads across the Americas, reaching deep into the Amazon where it can replenish soil and the rainforest, according to the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration. In summer, the flows get stronger, so you see the plumes migrating farther west, David said. At the end of June, Africa dust turned the sky a milky white in Miami and Houston, sending air quality into the ditch. The reason why it was such a big deal this time was it was a lot thicker and there was a lot more than normal comes over, said Sarah Randall, a meteorologist with the National Weather Service in Dickinson, Texas. It really stood out this time. Also, this is from SOT.net. Areas in Australia are recording the coldest temperatures for more than a decade. This is from Thursday, July 12th. Australians have been shivering across the country this winter, but a cold air mass combined with clear skies and light winds caused the mercury to really plummet last night. Look at that blue ice snowman. A slow-moving high-pressure system will continue to cause notably cold mornings across much of central, southern, and eastern Australia during the next few days, leading to a widespread frost and fog each morning until Sunday. Some southern parts of the Northern Territory and a few places in southwest Queensland had their coldest morning in 3 to 7 years. After a night of steady cooling, the temperature in Queensland town of Tharbanoff dropped to a low of 0.2 degrees just before 7 a.m., the site's coldest morning since 2012. Across the border, it was the coldest morning in 3 years for the Northern Territory's Jervis, which recorded a low of negative 0.2 degrees, and Daly Waters felt a chilly 3.9 degrees. This morning's frost start comes a day after some areas registered their lowest temperature in more than a decade yesterday. A low of negative 2.6 degrees at Fowler's Gap was its coldest start since 2006. The cold temperatures has also seen the natural snow depth in Australia's Alps getting close to 1 meter in some areas. So 1 meter is going to be about 3.5 feet deep. So yeah, it's pretty deep. From Saw.net, lightning sets off over 100 forest fires in the southern Norway. Wow, that's a lot of forest fires, wouldn't you think? More than 100 forest and brush fires were burning all over southern Norway, some of them out of control on Thursday afternoon and evening. Extremely dry conditions and strong winds were posing huge challenges for emergency crews. Lightning that swept over much of the southern part of the country also sparked fires. Many places in Akershus, the county surrounding in the west, north, and east, around 40 fire trucks were sent out to battle blazes. It can't go more bananas than this, given the numbers of fire, a harried worker taking calls of Brandonsville, the state fire authority, told NRK. The fires were sparked by lightning and thunderstorms that moved in after several more days of extremely warm temperatures that extended a drought that's left huge areas so dry that every little thing can ignite. Yes, this is true. We are seeing lots of areas in the world with droughts, and this does increase, as I have noted before, in grand solar minimums. And also the lightning strikes do, as we are seeing. Sheets of rain, flash flooding sends tourists to high ground near Grand Canyon. Said his friends warned other campers to flee. Some were stranded on islands that formed in the water, while others climbed trees, stood on benches, or took shelter in caves, he said. The tribe used ATVs, rope, and manpower to get dozens of tourists from the campground below the village of Supai to a school, where they spent the night Wednesday and were given food and supplies. A single helicopter flew about 5 tourists at a time out of the village to a parking lot at the head of an 8-mile trail to Supai, Fink said. Several were still waiting their turn early Thursday evening. Definitely lots of stuff. And this is right here at home in the U.S. Eruptions are intensifying, and a couple more have went off. Actually, a few. We're just going to put a couple on here, though. This is from the Watchers. Eruptions intensify. Off-scale seismic at Anak Krakatau, Indonesia. Explosive activity at Anak Krakatau in Indonesia continues, and its seismicity is reportedly going off the scale today, July 12, 2018. Krakatau is going crazy. 100 explosions a day. Very loud and can be heard until Kurita, which is 26 miles away. Volcano discoveries, Indonesian volcano expedition leader said July 12th. That's a far away that you can hear that, man. 26 miles. Yeah, good thing it's on this little island right here. You know, not a lot of people are by. Also from the Watchers.news, new fissure eruption at Piton de la Fournaise Reunion. Now this does sound like France, doesn't it? A new fissure eruption started at Piton de la Fournaise. I don't know if I'm saying that right. Shield volcano located on the eastern side of Reunion Island in the Indian Ocean. This is its third eruption this year. The two previous took place in April of 2018 because of a real and impending danger of collapse. Access to the volcano is prohibited until further notice. I will go ahead and leave a link of this article as well so you can check this out. There's been a lot of activity recently. Geological summary. The massive Piton de la Fournaise basaltic shield volcano on the French island of Reunion in the western Indian Ocean is one of the world's most active volcanoes. More than 150 eruptions, most of which have produced fluid basaltic lava flows, have occurred since the 17th century. Only 6 eruptions in 1708, 1774, 76, 1800, 77, and 86 have originated from fissures on the outer flanks in the caldera. This volcano, one of several operated by the Institut de Physique du Globe de Paris, monitors this very active volcano. Yes, at a time like this, all the very active volcanoes are seeming to be going off. And I hope you got something out of the video today. Thanks a lot for enjoying the channel. If you got a couple bucks extra to shoot, that would be great. If not, I totally understand. I'm right there with you. You have a great day and enjoy your weekend. Thanks a lot.